I just want to make an example. And please quote me. In the days, in the 80s, the 90s, I remember when we were in school, we wanted to, as a guy, you want to talk to a girl, we used to do letter writing because there were no phones. The truth remains that before you even give the letter to the girl, you write the letter, oh my sweetheart, how much I love you. When I think of you, I fall 3 times and die. And as a man, I rise up again. I cannot express myself without telling you how much I love you, and this and this and that. Then you will have to walk, for like 3 kilometers. That is if you are a day student or you live apart. You will walk a long distance and then go and stand under a tree and wait for that girl who might not come. Sometimes if you stand under a tree in their compound, their father will come and ask you, what were you doing here? What are you doing here? So all those things happen. And then you will take rocks and start throwing on their roof just to make sure that you can be able to get their attention. And once you've gotten that attention and you've been able to successfully give that your letter, dear Sonia, dear Cynthia, dear Esther, dear this, dear that, I don't know how to express my love for you. But with this little piece of word. And she too will take that letter and reads it, puts it across her heart, put it under her pillow and sleep. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. You have not seen their nakedness. You have not even had an opportunity to kiss her. But that love is really there. In this generation, all I need to do, I just go to my computer or go to my phone. Tack, 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 tack. I am seeing naked women. I just walk on the streets. I'll see a lot of naked women. Now, what point am I bringing? There is spiritual and moral guidance. How did you train your child? The inheritance he leaves is not just material, but also spiritual. A righteous man teaches values such as faith, such as honesty, such as integrity, passing down a legacy of moral righteousness. It takes me back to Father Abraham. The Bible talks about him sending Ishmael away with Hagar. And the Bible talks about when Isaac was born, he started training Isaac in the fear of God. And Isaac knows that he needed to sacrifice to God from time to time. He taught Isaac that. Isaac knew that he needed to ask God if there is a problem. That is why the Bible says Isaac prayed and his wife Sarai conceived. So, his wife Rebecca, sorry. So, there are a lot of things we need to pass. Character building is something that as parents, we must pass to our children. How the Bible talks about honor. Honor your father and mother. Honor your friends, your bosses. There are some people who come to the office with a negative mindset, a mindset of pride. How do you honor somebody when you have pride filled in you? As an entrepreneur, you need to train your staff. You need to train your people. You need to train the people around you about honor, about honesty, about being truthful, about being integral. Pass down that legacy. Treat everybody with love. The Bible tells us to love your neighbor as you love yourself. Treat everybody that comes your way with love. Sometimes, yes, you need to keep your distances. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes you need to break up. Don't get me wrong. but treat everybody with love. As a child, you need to obey. You need to be submissive to your father. You need to understand. As a staff, you need to respect your bosses. You need to understand the hierarchy. These are ethical behaviors we need to manage. We need to understand to keep the company growing. Because if you respect your senior, the one who is beneath you will respect you. So once you start building such characteristics around you, growth is close to you. Do you know your worth as a child to your father? And fathers, do you know your worth as a father to your child? Because if your children cannot obey you, it means in one way or the other, either an alien has educated them or you have failed. Now, how about your grandchildren? Whatever I am saying, build a platform, build a storyline whereby your children can look up to and hit their hands on their chest. My father did it, and I am proud of him. Oh, I am a Simo. I come from a lineage of kings. You can tell that one to somebody, and yes, this is true, because they see it in you. So, spiritual and moral guidance is necessary. Take time. In the company, there is one thing we do in our company. For our staffs, we sometimes take trips with them. Make sure we travel from one point to the other so that they can be able to understand that this is what's up. This is how things are. We educate them from a distance. We educate them within. We give them periodic training outside the office comfort. We sometimes send them, then tell them, coach them, guide them. This is what you do in this instance. Once you see that it has failed like this is what you do. That is how you guide them. That is how you structure them. And you do that for your own children. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a lot of it we have to talk about. Now, another point will be responsibility. There are a lot of us, men and women, that we are afraid of our responsibility. A wise man assumes his duty to care for his family, ensuring that they have what they need to thrive even after he is gone. A wise man, that is in the family setting. A wise boss in the office setting. A wise leader in the organizational structure, the organizational setting, will assume his responsibility, his duty, even while he is gone. He makes sure that everything is in place, everything is in check, such that by the time they start putting things in place, they know that, okay, before that left, he kept this. Before the boss left, this was in place. So you don't have to struggle much. You don't even have to struggle because everything has been kept in place. Another sense of that is a wise man. Let me say this word, the responsibility, in a different way. A wise man has a heart for what he does, has a heart for his family, has a heart for his business, has a heart for the growth of his society, his immediate community. Why? Because he wants to see that everything is aligned for the next generation to take over the baton. How do you want to see yourself when you grow old? Oh, I don't have a place to stay because my father didn't do this, and now you, because you used to drink your destiny, you used to drink your house, you didn't invest in anything. So you rent until you are old. No, that is not how it should be. What should happen is put yourself in a position whereby growth will be all you seek. Put yourself in a position whereby you will give your best to see that you leave the rest for your children. Now, there is something some people do not understand. If you only want to leave inheritance like wealth, structures, buildings, companies, and so on for your children, and you don't leave the morals, your wealth will go down the drain after you are gone. So make sure you can do the right thing. Finally, I want to talk about a long-term vision. A long-term vision. A wise man sees decision. His decisions are not just for short-term base. No. But they are aimed to securing lasting stability for his descendants, reflecting a sense on purpose for a sense of purpose that transcends immediate gratification. What are you into? What line of business are you into? We have been able to teach our children that the best they can do is to go to school. That is all we want to give them. In school today, we learn the good, we learn the bad, we learn the ugly. That is what we will get. But what about in the house? What about in our offices? How do you groom your children to take over from where you have stopped? Those are questions we need to ask. How do you groom your children? How do you educate your children? I have noticed something with Indians and Indian businessmen and some of my friends who are around. They carry their family along. Except the ones that are divorced or have issues with their wives and they are staying apart. But they carry their children along. They go to the office, the child knows that, okay, this is my vision. We start this company, this is how the company needs to expand. Even if the children have their own vision, they already understand their father's vision, which they intertwine with theirs, and it gives it a lasting term. But the question is, on your own side, how is your vision aligning? Do you have short-term goals? Oh, I just need to build a house and then sit and start. No. We need to keep growing. Every time that passes, we grow. We grow in mind, we grow in size, stature, we grow in wealth, we grow in everything that has to do. So that when we are leaving our children, we are sure that they know, they understand why we are, why we did what we did. I have come to learn some things. I have come to see a lot of things. You might say, this topic is not for me because I'm poor. No. It's for everybody. And being poor is a mindset. I do tell people that some people are so poor that the only thing they have is money. You are really poor that you don't have friends, you don't have children, you don't have relationships, you don't have anything. All you have is money. So you think you buy everything with money. No. I need to know that in our African culture, we respect people like this. I need to educate my children that in our African culture, this is who we are. So that is why at Royceville, we have African Cultural Festival, which is one of the things we do and which we are hoping to organize in Kenya very soon, because it brings different cultures together. It's a celebration of cultures. We celebrate different cultures, different heritages, and we make sure we educate our children. We are Africans. Black is our identity. We should not be restricted by borders. We should not be restricted by anything, because we are Africans. And because we are Africans, we should educate our children correctly to honor, respect, obey, and walk in integrity. We should also push them to go to the farms where we started, where our grandparents started. Have you bothered to ask yourself this question? In those days, a man will have 7 wives and 48 children, and yet can feed all of them without a problem. No health challenge. But in our day of today, a man will have 1 wife and cannot feed his children. What has happened to our agriculture? What has happened to a rich man is a farmer? What has happened to cultivation? Ladies and gentlemen, I am still Dr. Roy. Thank you very much and have a blessed day.